This is Kimberly Holcomb, and this is week 4 of my Little League scoring app. This week what I'm doing is I'm just comparing the scores, making sure that they're the same. If not, I'm kicking them over to the score page for the officials, and they make the final decisions. And then what that all accumulates to is it updates the standings page so that parents, fans, anything would be able to see how their team is doing. So let's get started. First of all, we'll go to the scoreboard page. This is where, or the controller, this is where the scores are added to the database. If there are more than, or if there's less than 2 scores for the specific game, it will add the score to the database. If there's more than 2, or if there's already 2 there, it will actually ignore it and not add it to the database. After you add it, what it's doing is it's checking to see if there are 2 scores. If there are, then what it's doing is it's comparing the 2 home scores from those scores, the 2 away scores. If those are the same, it actually updates the standings by adding a win. If the home team wins, has a larger score, then it adds a win to the home team, adds a loss to the away team, and updates the points for, points against, and all those stats you usually see on a standings page. If it does not match up, it sends it over to the scores page that is handled by the official controller file. Here I'm getting all the different schedules. I'm getting all the scores for those schedules, if there have been any entered. And then it puts it onto that page, and then you have 2 different options on the scores page as an official. You can either, if there's only 1 score that's entered for a game, you can actually say yes, that's the correct score, and it will it'll update the score or the standings page. If there are 2 scores and they're not the same, which is the only time that 2 different scores would appear 2 scores for a game would appear on the scores page, it will then kick it to that page, and instead of a correct button, it'll have 2 incorrect buttons. Reason I have that is that way the official can say this is the incorrect score. They click on that button, it will actually do the updating behind the scenes. It will create a new score or a new game, which takes all the information from the game that is not being used, because it deletes the incorrect one. It gets the information from the game that's remaining with that game ID, and it puts in all that information into the database, saves it, and then it does the same thing that it did over on the scoreboard app, or the scoreboard controller. It will actually update the standings. So let's see that in action. Here is the standings page for the Pee Wee League. As you can see, you have Team A, B, all the way through F. No wins, no losses, 1 game. I've only had 1 game in the database, and there's only 1 game left. So we'll go in, we'll score Team A versus Team B. We'll say that Team B wins 3-0, and we'll enter the same score in for the second one. As you can see, we'll go into the standings. We'll go to Pee Wee, and you can see that I already had 1 in there as a test. As you can see, it updated it to from 1 to 2, and has the points for and against. Now let's go in and we'll say that teams C and D, Team C wins 3-2 according to 1 score, and another one is 4-2. We'll submit score, and if you go over here, you'll see there's no update to the standings page. That's because the 2 scores were different. So if you go over to the scores page, you can see there's Team D at Team C, Team D being the away team, Team C being the home team. and you have the scores 2 to 3 and 2 to 4. Now this is where the official would do some research, find out if someone just accidentally hit the button an extra time, and we'll say that they did. So we'll hit incorrect for the 2 to 4, and you can see that it's gone now. That means that the scores have been updated in the database to show that they're the same now. So if we go to Pee Wee, we'll see that Team C has 1 win, and Team D has a loss. And you can see it has 2 points for and 4 against, and 2 and 4. Okay, so next, what if they only have one person scoring a game? So we'll go in here, we'll say Team E wins by the mercy rule, 10 to nothing. We'll submit the score, and we'll see that there's no update for Team E or F. So we'll go into scores, we'll see that there's 1 Team F at Team E with 0 to 10 score. That is correct. We've talked to both teams. And if you go into the standings now, it should update. I'm not sure exactly why it has been updating for me. So that is my final week. I appreciate all of you watching, and good luck in future classes.